When I was a kid, I had perfect hair. I have two daughters now, and they both have gorgeous hair. I think that they were blessed with my hair. I'm really hopeful that they're not going to be blessed with my hair loss. But fortunately, there is no history of hair loss among women in my family. So I'm hoping that we'll kind of get lucky. Same thing for their mom. Their mom has good hair. They definitely have my wave and my curls and all of that because their mom has straight hair and they have this beautiful hair. So I thought today I would take you through my head shave transformation because I was watching a video on the Bald Cafe and it was a video with the same title. I had perfect hair and this is my head shave transformation. So I've had multiple head shave transformations. So I've been through this up and down many times, from having incredible perfect hair as a kid to then, I think I first shaved my head when I was 19 years old. I was 18 or 19 when I first started noticing that I had lost my hair. And it actually was because I saw the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise at that same time. So I started noticing some hair loss myself. Tom Cruise has all been my favorite actor since I was quite young. So I thought, well, Tom Cruise looked good with a shaved head. I'm starting to lose my hair. Maybe I can cover this up, a bit and shave my head or kind of be okay with it, or something positive will happen of this. About in the next 6 years, and that was my look, this shaved head kind of thing. And it was until I got my first hair transplant was the first time I started to actually grow my head out again. After growing my hair out again, you get a second hair transplant. And what do you have to do when you do that?
Well, you've got to shave your head.
Most of the time, right? I shaved my head again. So second hair transplant, shaved my head. Third hair transplant, I actually didn't have to shave my head for that one, just based on what they were doing, where they were going. I didn't need to for that one. It was FUT. And at that point, I had pretty good hair after that third one. So I continued like that for quite a while. And then I had to shave my head again for my recent hair transplant. So I'll put some video of that. 2 recent hair transplants, I've shaved my head. And so I'll show exactly what that looks like. Obviously, there's going to be some blood and some scabs and things in some of these videos. So here's the thing that I'll say from my last head shave transformation, which we'll be showing. I, have these FUT scars on the back of my head. And for the first surgery or second surgery, I was left with a much larger scar than I really feel like I should have been. And it's quite large. What's interesting, though, is that because my hairline is now so good and so, well established, I have to say, personally, would I rather just go back to my, 24-year-old self with the shaved head? And I'll show some photos of that where I really was starting to shave, just totally bick it, because it was just going, it's just like didn't really exist much there. So I was just getting rid of all of it. And would I rather go back to that or have to walk around with, this FUT scars, these kind of horrific looking scars on the back of my head? But the trade-off is that I have a well-defined hairline. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, do I have the option to fill in some scarring in the back with FUE?
But see, that's actually, I've tried filling in the scarring with FUE, and because of that second surgery, how deep it was, there's too much scar tissue there, and I can't get the hair to grow. So I did try a surgery where I did that, which that is usually possible, but depending on how scars form, which we can't always, guarantee that scars are going to form perfectly. It is possible there's not enough blood supply. So again, go to a great surgeon. Hopefully that shouldn't be an issue for you, but I do have that issue with one of my scars because I've now tried to fill it in twice with FUE and it does not grow. So my only options are walk around with giant FUT scars in the back of my head, but a really good, well-defined hairline, or just call it a day, go back to the very beginning. I'm bald, but I don't have any scars.
I'll take the scars in the back with the hairline.
And why is that?
Well, I've always said, this is just me, that when we engage with others, we're doing it about 90% of the time. It's in the front, like I'm looking at you now, but I'm actually looking at the side profile. Mm-hmm. So it's either this side, or it's in the front.
Yeah, so little goes in the back, right?
Right. I mean, I always hear all the time with guys with bald spots in the top, hey, I'm 6'2", nobody really sees it. It bothers them, and it would bother me too. That doesn't define who they are. So when I look at you and I see your hairline, and then I'm looking at your videos and your photos of you when you had your head shaved, I mean, you look completely different. You look younger now than when you were 20. You gave me a choice A, choice B. I'll take the hairline.
That's where I would be too. That's it. I would exactly choose that. And now I can very honestly say that because I've walked around like that. I've spent days, I shaved my head like 2 days before my last hair transplant. So I walked around for a couple of days in public in New York City with a shaved head with giant FUT scars in the back of my head. And so I've been through that. And I have to say, I felt better that way. I felt I was engaging with people right here, and I felt very well engaged with it. Everybody seemed to act the same way towards me, and I felt good. And I definitely would pick that for sure. There's multiple people that I can think of both personally and professionally. Like Joe Rogan has FUT scars. He's still been very successful with those FUT scars. So obviously the FUT scars haven't made people go, oh, we don't want to interact with him. We don't want to put him on TV. He's got a scar in the back of his head. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he gets it covered up, but they're not showing the back of his head on TV or the back of his head in the podcast. One of my good friends, a very famous songwriter, so I won't mention his full name. His name's Jeff, and he has giant FUT scars in the back, and he just shaves his head because he got it done a long time ago. He's got some plug scars as well. Got the hair transplants done years ago. Didn't get on preventative treatment. I don't even know if they had it then, and then now it's just shaved his head. And he's still a very successful songwriter and has been with a shaved head with all these FUT scars. Even though nobody likes the idea of walking around with big scars, I don't think it hurts you on like a super professional level or even like a dating level. I don't think people do or don't date Jeff because of these lines that he's got in the back of his head.
What I think is going on out there is the FUT scars, at least by today's standard, are something people want to shy away from because they don't want anybody to know they had a hair transplant, right?
Yeah.
So they want the best of both worlds. They want their cake and eat it too. They want to shave their heads and have all their hair, but not say they had a hair transplant.
But the thing is, only other hair transplant patients basically know that FUT scars are from hair transplants. Like your average person has no clue. I've told you this story that I was on a plane ride after my hair transplant, and I had like the big scars, and I think I just can't remember if it was a newly formed scar or whatever. For some reason, my head was shaved. It was like bloody and scabby and all of that kind of stuff. It looked the worst that it could look during a hair transplant period of time. The guy on my plane, it was a long flight. He gave me a free meal. So like if the plane rides where you have to pay for the meals, like a $10 meal or whatever. He just goes and hands me the meal, and he goes, "Thank you for your service." Oh, so like he obviously saw these, my head all being messed up and thought I was in the military. He didn't think like, oh, you just had cosmetic surgery done. Like, here's a free meal. So
pay for the meal.
No. I was like, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome for my service. I guess you watch my YouTube channels about hair loss though. So that's what I choose too.
A lot of people still don't understand that we still have to do FUT many times for many reasons. We have to do it right and be honest and ethical. So some people don't have a choice. But, this is a cool conversation because, man, I'll take all the scars I can get to give me that hairline.
If you want to lock in your hair for life, go to locklab.co. It's a simple pill for a great head of hair. You know how passionate we are here about helping you guys get the best head of hair that you possibly can achieve and keep it for life. And that's exactly what we are doing with LockLab. Locklab.co.